Hey guys, it's Monday again, so we're going to talk about some mobility things. One of the topics today is going to be foam rollers. So I think most of you guys have probably used one of these things before in the past. Basically all it is a 8-inch diameter by about 12-inch length roll of high density foam. I tend to like these ones here like this better than the open cell ones because they tend to be a lot more compressible and don't really break down over time like some of the more open cell ones do, like the pool noodles or the ones that I'm talking about. So if you're going to get one, I would say that getting one of these high density ones here like this, the 8-inch full round, about 12-inch length is about all you're really ever going to need. And I would start there. So basically, there's a few rules that I have people apply to when we're doing foam rolling. The first thing of which is that we never roll over anything that causes sharp pain. Anything that causes that sort of deep ache in there is okay to do, and try and keep it around about a 4 out of 10 on the pain scale and you'll probably be all right. Other than that, any areas that you're rolling over that cause numbness, we want to make sure that we avoid any of that for sure. And other than that, really, there's no right or wrong way to do foam rolling. But basically, I'm going to break down a real quick sort of top to bottom flow that I would go through before I get into any of my workouts. So let's just start and get going, okay? So the first place I usually start is going to be down here in the calves. They can get a little tight when we're running around and stuff like that, so the easiest way to roll them out is to put one calf up on top of the roll, place the other one over the top of it, lift your hips up off the ground a little bit, and just roll kind of back and forth. And what we're looking for is any of that deep achy pain that I was talking about earlier, and you can sort of just sit on top of those areas. If you find one spot that's worse than another, you can also sort of mash on it by going from side to side. And basically you just want to pass over it enough times until you feel that that deep ache has kind of gone down. It feels more like pressure than anything. Or if you keep rolling over it over and over again, it doesn't feel like it's getting better, you might as well just move on to the next area, which is going to be our hamstring. So what we can do with that, same sort of idea, to get pressure down in there, throw the other leg over the top, just rolling back and forth. Okay, so we'll just kind of roll back and forth in there, same sort of thing until it feels mostly just like pressure. Next thing to do is another rule that I talked about, is making sure that this roll never goes in the low back. It can really injure yourself if you put that back there and lay all your weight on top of it. So I just, as a rule of thumb, tell people never to stick it back there. So what you do want to do though is work on this area here, your thoracic spine, which gets really tight from where we're sitting in our chairs and things like that all day. So this can kind of help undo some of that. Best way to do that is to put the roll down right about where the ribs start, and you'll feel kind of the difference in between where your ribs end and where your low back is. It tends to be a little bit softer down in here, which is what we don't want. A little more stable there, which is right where we should start. So same idea here with most of the other foam rolling. We're just going to start hands behind the neck to support, lift the hips up, and then just work on some light passes to begin with, just to identify any areas that might need a little bit more attention. And once you've gone over that, you can lift your hips up higher, tuck your chin in towards your chest, and work on that area that's up just a little bit higher than that, okay? Same thing as before. If you found any areas that are a little bit more achy and you want to spend some extra time there, so what we can do is take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, drive your neck, head, and shoulders down towards the ground, but without looking back behind you. So we want to make sure that we're really driving down in there, and if you're really mobile, then you can drop your hips down over the top of it instead to get a little bit more action there. Most people aren't going to be able to do that. Other things to look into when you're just getting a good warm-up is to get the lats a little bit loose. So what we can do is put the foam roll down right in there and slide back and forth on there, and also rolling side to side on that, just like that. So that's a pretty good basic flow to go through. You can use this foam roller for nearly anything. And I would just recommend spending some time with it, maybe 10 or 15 minutes a day or so, rolling on one of these things, just to keep things kind of nice and loose, especially before you go out and do any activities. If you have any questions about any more nuances of foam rolling, or if you have any interest in having me out to come do a foam rolling seminar for you or a small group, at your office, please do get in contact with me, and I'd love to do it. So if you have any questions, as always, just feel free to contact me here at the office, okay? Take it easy.